David anointed king of Judah. Shalom, Allah, Prester John, investigation, installment number 44. Ahab to my Shabbatah. 2 Samuel chapter 2. Let's go. Click the links below. After this, David asked Ahchwa, should I move back to the one of the towns of Judah? Yes, Ahchwa replied. Then David asked, which town should I go to? To Hebron, Ahchwa answered. David's two wives were Ahinoam from Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal from Carmel. So David and his wives and his men and their families all moved to Judah, and they settled in the villages near Hebron. Then the men of Judah came to David and anointed him king over the people of Judah. When David heard that the men of Gabash Gilead had buried Saul, he sent them this message: may Ahchwa bless you for being so loyal to your master Saul, and gave him a decent burial. Giving him a decent burial, may Ahchwa be loyal to you in return and reward you with his unfailing love. I too will reward you for what you have done. Now that Saul is dead, I ask you to be my strong and loyal subjects like the people of Judah, who have anointed me as their new king. Now, right quick, right here, you got Abigail, David's two wives. All right, so you got Ahinoam and you have Abigail. If you remember, man, we're talking about the wife that gave him Keliab or Daniel. And Daniel was one of the 4 sinless men. Really exposing the foundation of his story. Jesse, right, is important because he's in the Old Testament and mentioned in the genealogy of their Jesus. We're going to get some great drop out of the medieval history of the Israelites, and love to everybody who hit me up for a copy of that document. You can still hit me up for that music at 432thedrop.com. So later rabbinic traditions name him as one of the 4 Israelites who died without sin. Oh yeah, you got 4 Israelites who died without sin already. The other 3 being Benjamin, all right, one of the sons of Jacob. You have Keliab, all right, Keliab is who? Also known as Daniel, was the second son of David, king of Israel. According to the Bible, he is David's son with his 3rd wife, Abigail, widow of Nabal, the Carmelite. We're just digging on this, and we're 2 Samuel. So this wife, Abigail, bore David Daniel, or Keliab, who is one of the 4 sinless men. So you see this line of David, it's like, hey, You're just talking about pedigree here. And no matter what transgression David had to go through or any other descendants had to go through, we see a pattern here. Because not only is David's son one of the sinless men, son of David, son of David, son of David. I mean, I put it like this, man. What if you ask somebody, which son of David was without sin? What would they say? What would they say? Man, that's a trivia question like a mug, ain't it? Because in Christianity, they're going to say Jesus, right? They're going to say Jesus, son of David. He's without sin. In reality, you have Kiliab, David's son, with Abigail, known as one of the four ancient Israelites who died without sin. Not only his son died without sin, but Jesse, his pops, was also one of the four sinless men, as well as Amram, Moses' dad. All right, Moses is Miriam, Aaron's pops. Okay, let's go. We're just talking about the anointing of priest king, Prester John. We're talking David, priest king, right? But Abner, son of Ner, the commander of Saul's army, had already gone to Mahanaim with Saul's son Ishbosheth. There he proclaimed Ishbosheth king over Gilead, Jezreel, Ephraim, Benjamin, and the land of Asherites, and all the rest of Israel. So we got Ishbosheth being proclaimed king, basically over the northern kingdom. Ishbosheth's son, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he became king, and he ruled from Mahanaim. Almost sounds like Manana, or Maine, right? Just like the four corners. For 2 years, and meanwhile, the people of Judah remained loyal to David. David made Hebron his capital, and he ruled as king of Judah 7.5 years. One day, Abner led Ishbosheth's troops from Mahanaim to Gibeon. About the same time, Joab, son of Zeruiah, led David's troops out and met them at the pool of Gibeon. The two groups sat down there facing each other from opposite sides of the pool. Then Abner suggested to Joab, let's have a few of our warriors fight hand to hand here in front of us. All right, Joab agreed. So 12 men were chosen to fight from each side, 12 men of Benjamin, representing Ishbosheth's son of Saul. Again, you just got these sinless men around you, right? Benjamin, son of Benjamin. 12 men of Benjamin, all right? And 12 representing David. Each one grabbed his opponent by the hair and thrust his sword into the other side so that all of them died. So this place of Gibeon has been known ever since as the Field of Swords. A fierce battle followed that day, and Abner and the men of Israel were defeated by the forces of David. So let's pick it up from right here, and actually let's go to I'm gonna go to chapter 5. Let's get it from here. Then all the troops of Israel went to David at Hebron and told them, we are your own flesh and blood. In the past, when Saul was our king, you were the only one who really led the forces of Israel. And Ahchwa told you, you will be the shepherd of my people, Israel. Shepherd forever, one shepherd. You will be Israel's leader. So there at Hebron, King David made a covenant before Ahchwa with the elders of Israel, and they anointed him king of Israel. And this covenant is forever. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 40 years in all. He had reigned over Judah from Hebron for 7 years and 6 months, and then from Jerusalem he reigned over all Israel and Judah for 33 years. 33 years. Okay now. Okay, pick it up. Let's go. David then led his men to Jerusalem to fight against the Jebusites and the original inhabitants of the land who were living there. The Jebusites taunted David, saying, "You'll never get in here. Even the blind and lame could keep you out." For the true Jebusites thought they were safe. The Jebusites thought they were safe, but David captured the fortress of Zion, which is now called the city of David. Are we just talking Cusco? Cusco, Peru. Oh, yeah, we're going to dig all through South America, man, and Prester John 44. Shabbat Shalom, because you might be getting this on a Shabbat. Every day should flow in the frequency of your Shabbat, and your Shabbat should be your checkpoint to tune up, to vibe up, to tribe up. On the day of the attack, David said to his troops, "I hate those lame and blind Jebusites. Whoever attacks them should strike by going into the city through the water tunnel." That is the origin of the saying, "The blind and the lame may not enter the house." So David made the fortress his home, and he called it the city of David. And you can dig on that Cusco Sacsayhuaman drop. Love the Caramel has been kicking the rib. He extended the city, starting at the supporting terraces and working inward. And David became more and more powerful because Ahchwa of heaven's army was with him. Ahchwa. Then King Hiram of Tyre sent messengers to David along with the cedar timber, and carpenters and stonemasons, and they built David a palace. And David realized that Ahchwa had confirmed him as king over Israel and had blessed his kingdom for the sake of his people Israel. After moving from Hebron to Jerusalem, David married more concubines and wives, and they had more sons and daughters. These are the names of David's sons who were born in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibhar, Elishua, Elishua, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, Eliphelet. So we're just talking about a flow of redemption. We're talking about a flow of restoration. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed, we're talking about an anointed flow. They mobilized all their forces to capture him, but David was told they were coming, so he went into the stronghold. The Philistines arrived and spread out across the valley of Rephaim, talking giants, man. So David asked Ahchwa, "Should I go out to fight the Philistines? Will you hand them over to me?" Ahchwa replied to David, "Yes, go ahead. I will certainly hand them over to you." David got the keys. So David went to Baal Perazim and defeated the Philistines there. "The Lord did it," David exclaimed. "He burst through my enemies like a raging flood." So he named that place Baal Perazim, which means Ahchwa burst through. And it's interesting how he named that place Baal Perazim, showing that this Baal even is a title. Titles everywhere. But after a while, the Philistines returned again and spread out across the valley of Rephaim. And again, David asked Hawa what to do. Do not attack them straight on, Hawa replied. Instead, circle around behind and attack them near the poplar trees. When you hear a sound like marching feet in the tops of the poplar trees, be on the alert. That will be the signal that Hawa is moving ahead of you to strike down the Philistine army. Now, have you ever thought, how does Hawa move ahead of David to strike down this Philistine army? How exactly does Hawa do that? You know what I mean? You just got to dig on it. Because we can go back into, matter of fact, how does he move ahead? How does he move ahead? Let me see. Let me get the rest of this and then we'll get that. We're going to Psalms 18 next. That would be the signal that Hawa is moving ahead of you to strike down the Philistine army. So is it some invisible force that strikes down this army? Are we talking dragons? So David did what Hawa commanded, and he struck down the Philistines all the way from Gibeon to Gezer. All right, so all we know is that Hawa struck them down, and David listened. Then David again gathered all the elite troops of Israel, 30,000 in all, led them to Baalah of Judah to bring back the ark of Hawa, which bears the name of Hawa of heaven's armies, who is enthroned between cherubim. They placed the ark of Hawa on a new cart and brought it to Abinadab's house, which is on the hill. Uzzah and Ohio. Let's go. Abinadab's sons were guiding the cart that carried the ark. Ahio walked in front of the ark. David and all the peoples of Israel were celebrating before Hawa, singing songs and playing all kinds of musical instruments, lyres, harps, tambourines, castanets, and cymbals. But when they arrived in the threshing floor of Nakan, the ox stumbled, and Uzziah reached out his hand and steadied the ark of Hawa. Then Hawa's anger was aroused against Uzziah, and Hawa struck him dead. Because of this, Uzziah died right there beside the ark of Hawa. And that's a whole nother flow when we dig on this Aztec Ark of the Covenant. There's a whole chapter about the Aztec Ark of the Covenant in the Forbidden Histories of America. But, back to this Philistine battle. You know what I'm saying? This would be a signal that Hawa is moving ahead of you to strike down the Philistine army. Do we have any other example of the Creator rocking with David, moving ahead of David to strike down the hijack? What other example can we draw on when we talk about priest, king, Prester, king, Juan Khan, David, Dawid, rocking with Hawa? How did Hawa move ahead of David to strike down the army, man? So this, of course, brings us back to Psalms 18, and it's also mentioned in 2 Samuel. Is this, what David is referring to when he talks about his battles, that Hawa heard his trouble and saved him? I love you, Hawa. You are my strength. The Hawa is my rock. The Creator, the power is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. Who's the Savior of Israel? Who's the Savior of Israel? Is it Joshua? Is it David? Is it Melchizedek? Is it Michael? None of the above. The only Savior of Israel is Ahchwa. Ahchwa is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. That's the only energy that can save you. And all the functions that carry the particular design to bring you back to your salvation or your flow or your energy, your power, your Ahchwa, your breath of security. These are messengers. These are Mashiachs, right? These are high messengers, not saviors. Only one Savior for Israel, the framer and the shaper. Ahchwa. He is my rock. My Ahchwa is my rock in whom I find protection. So again, we're talking about how did Ahchwa move ahead of David, to smite the Philistine army. He is my shield, the power that saves me. In my place of safety, I call on Ahchwa, who is worthy of praise, and he saved me from my enemies. We just read in 2 Samuel 5 that David was saved from the Philistine army. Ahchwa moved ahead of him and smote this army, right? So the ropes of death entangled me. Floods of destruction swept over me. The grave wrapped its ropes around me. Death laid a trap in my path. But in my distress, I cried out to Ahchwa. Yes, I prayed to my power for help. Not in the name of nothing else. Only to Ahchwa. He heard me from his sanctuary. He heard me. My cry to him reached his ears. This might be the only place other than 2 Samuel, which is pretty much a duplication of what this is. It's the same instance happening. So, when you read about Ahchwa having ears, it's very rare to hear, or read about him having ears. You know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking, what form is your creator in? At what time? I suppose the creator can come in any form. But right now we're talking battle form, man. We're talking battle time, man. We're talking battle time. David was saved from his enemy. My cry reached his ears. Then the earth quaked and trembled. The foundations of the mountain shook. We're talking volcanoes popping off. They quaked because of his angers. Smoke poured from his nostrils. So we're reading about Ahchwa, the creator, hearing David to save him from his enemies. He's hearing him with his ears. Smoke is pouring from his nostrils. Where else do you read about the creator having nostrils or ears? So now clearly we're being given a form, not the only form, a form, a battle form that the creator is choosing to take in this particular instance where he's saving David, which is linked to this Philistine, attack, the attack from the Philistine army, being saved from that, as well as many others throughout 2 Samuel. Smoke poured from his nostrils. Fierce flames leaped out of his mouth. So you see, they're getting real graphic. They're getting real particular, real specific. We got ears. We got nostrils. We got a mouth. All referring to the creator. Now we're talking human form. Smoke from his nostrils. Fire from his mouth. Sounds a whole lot like a dragon to me. He opened, glowing coals blazed forth from him. So we got fire all over the place. He opened the heavens and came down. Dark storm clouds were beneath his feet. Oh man, we got feet, mouth, nostrils, ears. What else? Mounted on a mighty angelic being. Now, this is out the New Living Translation. I purposely be switching up my translations because, sometimes you get something different in different translations. So you got to keep the water flowing. So this is out the New Living Translation. You get the link, pull it up. Mounted on a mighty angelic being, he flew. So maybe we're lost in translation. Maybe he didn't need to mount an angelic being. Or maybe he mounted a dragon like Leviathan. We don't know. But it all sounds like heavy duty dragon drop, man. Soaring on the wings of the wind. So did the creator need to mount a dragon? Did the creator, transform into a battle form? Dragonish or dragon or dracan, yeah, all right. He shrouded himself in darkness, veiled his approach with dark rain clouds. Thick clouds shielded the brightness around him. We got a lot of so-called UFOs being cloaked in the clouds, right? And we're just talking unidentified flying objects soaring on the wings of the winds. Ahchwa thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded amid the hail and burning coals. He shot his arrows and scattered his enemies. Green bolts of lightning flashed, and they were confused. Then at your command, O Ahchwa, at the blast of your breath, the bottom of the sea could be seen, and the foundations of the earth were laid bare. How does Ahchwa come to David's rescue? We're just talking about David being rescued from my powerful enemies. So, this kind of gives us an example, a possibility of what we're talking about in 2 Samuel 5. And I think it's pretty much spot on when David is saying, let's go back there. When you hear a sound like marching feet in the tops of the poplar trees, right? This is Ahchwa responding, right? The Lord replied, all right? This is the same Lord, the same creator that we're reading about in Psalms 18 with ears, mouth, feet, nostrils, all right? So Ahchwa replied, instead, circle around behind. Attack them near the poplar trees. When you hear a sound like marching feet in the tops of the poplar trees, be on the alert. That will be the signal that Ahchwa is moving ahead of you to strike down the Philistine army. Now we can, see a beautiful imagery in dragon form. Nostrils and smoke and a mouth, with that fire, that smokeless Eleazar, you know what I'm saying? And this dragon frequency is all around the creator, all around David, all around Prester John. Oh, we got a lot more to dig on. When we talk about second Baruch, the dragons rising, coming out of their holes, coming out of their caves, coming out of their volcanoes to submit themselves to a little child. That's what it says in second Baruch, to submit themselves to a little child. Now we can maybe see what's going on in the Amazon. We're going to talk Amazon. Is it deforestation? Is it a cover-up? Is it a conspiracy? There's very little photographs. There's a media blackout. Are we talking drag and drop? What's going on in the Amazon? What's popping in South America? For real, for real. For real, for real. Let's go. A-hop to the drop, chatter, chat to chat, chatter. We just put down another yapa. Turf Thurs live, man. Hope you got to catch it. There will be replays. Don't even trip. Matter of fact, we in a replay right now. Man. So you can dig on it, get the drop, man. You always come over here, enjoy the chatter, click the icon, joint right here. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Love to my sisters, Double T from Jamaica. Oh man, look, man. It's all happening when it comes to Turf Thurs. Y'all get in the classroom, y'all get in the flow. Love to Bruce Butler, Sister Arlene, you know what I'm saying? Ricardo hitting us up tonight, man. You know what I mean? We're going to get much more of the family from Jamaica and tune in next week as well, man. Bruce Butler's back in the building. We're going to get the group, or the artist Flourish. We're going to get the sister Sashay in the building. It's going to go down next week, man. We got the bro Steve Talo. Oh, man, it's all happening. See, when your family in Canada links you to, links you to family in Jamaica, we got the connection. We got the Canada connection. When the family in Canada links you with the family in Yamaka, it's all happening, man. Love to Tech Coom say he's over there just digging on some tribal drop. And this is really interesting, man, when you dig on this. You know what I mean? I don't even know where he finds this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at just keywords. I see Israel. I see Edmund Israel. I see David Folsom, who has a child named Tecumseh and a child named Elias. We're talking about the Choctaw Nation. Elias died in 1907. We're just talking about the Native American Indian census, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we can't make this up. Tecumseh and Elias, huh? Man, Tech is over there digging on it, man. My bro Tecumseh said, I hop to the tribe. A Drop said, the stream is mean and the stream is clean. Honors up to everybody. Carry them high vibes from sunrise to sunset. Checkpoint on the horizon. A Lego. Love to Tech. Let's go. Let's go to the promised land, y'all. Let's go to the promised land. I'm talking Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders, man. I just want to, get it like it's the first time, man, when we talk about the real indigenous fabric right under our feet, man. Let's go. If you got time, man, go ahead and get this prologue, because it's going to really lay out the entire premise, man, for how this bro, Ronald Sanders, man, just ties all this together. We're only talking the Black King. Oh, man, we're just talking the Black King, man. Let's get it. Pull it up, go to page, let's go to 43. I got to be careful in this doc because, I'll stay on this all night. I'll stay on this all day. But I'm going to keep it real clean, man. We're just talking Prester John or the noble Ethiopian. And remember, man, this is where it all began. This is where it all started. My balcony surfers know the truth. They know the truth. You know the truth. Prester John, the noble Ethiopian, man. That's Prester John part 1. That's number 1, man. We in number 43. I'm sorry. Number 44. Let's go. So I just want to get some basics that, we covered, like it's the first time. And, we're going to keep it pushing. Go ahead and read it, man. Go ahead and read it. At a place south of Egypt on the Catalan map, a Saracen king is described as being always at war with the Christians of Nubia, who are under the rule of Emperor of Ethiopia of the land of Prester. Oh man, it gets so real around here sometimes, you know. If you've never heard this document, just stop everything and go recon it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this goes back, to basically the very beginning, man. You know what I'm saying? Of a lot of our recon. You know what I'm saying? So Papal Bull Doom Diversas, Nuclear, Nicholas V, Pope, Papal. Let's go. We're gonna get on the Vatican as well. All right, so just hang tight to your boot bones. Pope Nicholas V issued the Papal Bull Doom Diversas on the 18th of June, 1452, authorizing Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Saracens. Saracens, man. Saracens. The whole point of the invasion that happened to you right here in America, they talk about Christopher Columbus sailing the ocean blue, 1492, all goes back to, of course, the manifest destiny, right? But really the papal bull, the bull. Who worships the bull? 1452, authorizing all hijacks to reduce. What does that mean? To kill, to murder, to vanquish, to mutilate. We're talking Ame'rican Holocaust of the Saracens and the Saracen kings and queens. Now they want to just tie it into Muslim, but again, love to the bro. Let us find the truth, man. I'm talking wave surfers, man. Ahab to let us find the truth for breaking down the etymology of Muslims into just people of a promise. So who has a promise? The Saracens have a promise. We're just talking about a Saracen king. We weighing all singular the premises with due meditation and noting that since we had formerly by other letters of ours granted, among other things, free and ample faculty to the aforesaid King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue all Saracens. This is real, people. This is why you got the churches on every corner, because they looked at you as the enemies of Christ. And you know what they did to the enemies of Christ? They invaded them. But their Christ ain't your Christ. Their Christ ain't your Mashiach. Their Christ ain't your forever king. One shepherd forever. That's not their Christ. So your David, your real Joshua, is an enemy of their Christ. Would also be lumped into this Saracen category, who's being invaded, searched out, captured, and vanquished, and subdued. Okay. Okay. So they're looking for him in Africa. They're looking for him everywhere. They're looking for him in Asia. Where is Prester John? Who is Prester John? Ain't nobody checking for the priest king. Not no more. But this was the biggest investigation of all time that we're digging on. That's why we're on number 43. This is the biggest investigation of all time on Earth, man. Bigger than Atlantis, bigger than all that stuff. This so-called myth is the largest, most concrete foundation of all time. Why? Because it breaks the spell. That's why you see Kawah and David. We're talking battle form. We're talking Joshua, which means we're talking Hosea. Hosea is Joshua. This shows that Israel will go a long time without king or prince, man. It's been a while before you really overstood your priesthood. But afterward, the people will return, devote themselves to Ahchwa. In this translation, the New Living Translation, that's why I play around with different translations, see what they saying over here. And David's descendant, their king. Now, not very many translations are going to try to cover up this forever shepherd with this descendant thing, because now it can open a door for them to say, well, who's David's descendant? Who's the king? Nah, man. Afterwards, the sons of Israel will return and seek Ahchwa and David, their king. Oh, okay. Not descendant. You see, you got to dodge the hijack at all costs. And they will come trembling to Ahchwa, showing obedience. We're talking about the last days, people. Last days you'll be seeking David. Last days you will seek your creator. Seek Ahchwa and David. Ahchwa, David. Let's go. That's all we're talking about. So this is the search. The search continues. Indeed, the search for Prester John, for the name which is Presbyter Johannes in Latin and Prêtre Juan in French. Prêtre Juan in French. Well, how do they say it over here? Prêtre Juan. Which really, one of the family left the comments say you really got to dig when you talk about the Mongols, which we will be digging on the Mongols, briefly in this one. But, he said, yeah, man, you got to dig on that Yuan dynasty, the Y-U-A-N, the Mongol Yuan dynasty. How this all connects to this swarthy copper color Naga, also known as David. Let's see if they give me what I want. So when we talk David, We talk David. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. When we talk David, man, we talk David, man. And notice all I said was King David, Black Negro, right? You see all kinds of stuff popping up. Now you click on this is going to lead you directly to Prester John because they're claiming this letter of David being connected with Africa. But remember, you're in Africa. I mean, I ain't got to tell you that again. Where's that, man? I don't have to tell you again that you're in Africa, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Who was Prester John and Prester One? Well, hey. Who is David? Look at the garment. Look at the copper color. Look at the crown. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. All right, let's go. We're just talking David. El Prete Juan, Jean, right? Was considered by Zora to be one of the main reasons for Prince Henry's whole enterprise. I told you it's the most important. I mean, the whole Crusades, man. All the night this and the nights of that. All the Crusades. They're all the explorations. It's all about finding the land of Prester John. The land of Prester John. I mean, even the mythical Straits of Antioch. And we will be going into this Anan ben David next. It's telling you that Prester John, that this map maker has placed Prester John not very far from Mexico. Yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about. Prester John. America, North America, South America. Let's go. Because we're going to be talking about North America, South America. We're going to be talking about ATLANTICA. So the ruler of the three Indias that we're about to get in Lost Tribes and Promised Land, the three Indias is the ruler of ATLANTICA, Septimania, seven cities of gold, Quivera, Etzanoa. Let's go. We're talking about King David, ruler of the world, man. Forever one shepherd. Yeah. So it's the reason for, Prester John is the reason for Prince Henry's whole enterprise. The legend of the Christian prince living on the other flank of the Muslim world had excited Europe for nearly 300 years. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. You remember that Portuguese monument? C. Kawhi and David. Let's go. I'm just surfing the wave, man. Y'all remember that Portuguese monument, man? Portugal monument. Just type in Portugal monument, Prester John. I'm not the only one looking for Prester John. Ain't nobody checking for him no more. Except the children of Israel that seek Kawhi and David in the latter days. But y'all remember this monument, man, in Portugal? I mean, there's a monument in Portugal. Let's see if we can get it close up. Bang. In the memory of those seafarers who searched for Prester John from 1145 to 1645. 500 years searching for one man. I think we got to factor in the founding of youth when you talk about Prester John. 500 years looking for Prester John. 500 years looking for Prester John. Remember what Prester John said? Oh, man. Know that we were born and blessed. Oh, man. Where's my flashlight? Know that we were born and blessed in the womb of our mother 562 years ago. Pay attention to the numbers. $562 years ago. And since then we have bathed in the fountain 6 times. So since then, they've taken 6 baths in the fountain of youth to get to that 562 mark. All right, his whole tribe has taken 6 baths according to the letters 1165. That got to all these monarchs. Prester John put them all on notice. King David put them all on notice in 1165. 562 years ago, we were born in our mother's womb. In other words, Prester John was letting readers know that by the miracle of the fountain of youth, he was 562 years old and going strong. 562. In memory of those seafarers who searched for Prester John from 1145 to 1645. And remember this Prester John letter dealing with his fountain of youth is 1165. Genghis Khan war supposedly was 1203. So if he so-called died in his war, why are they still looking for him? Up until 1645. This is their monument, man. This is their monument. I can't make this stuff up. This is their monument to a black king. A black king. El Prester One, priest king. We're talking David, so put it together and surf the wave. Are they searching for, are they really searching for David? Is this the monarch they heard about? Hiding in the timelines? We're going to get back into Anatoly Fomenko and the Scaligerian, Batavia's hoax, pushing your timelines back 300 years, 1100 years, 1800 years. So you're thinking about stuff happening way in the BCs that really happened in the 1200s, 12th century, 13th century, all up until the 17th century, where they're still searching for Prester John. We're talking lost tribes and promised land. And where's the promised land? Right here in the land of the priest king. This is what they're searching for. This is what the Crusades, this is what the Henry, Prince Henry's Enterprise and all this shit, man. All this shit. The cities of gold. All this has to do with your nobility of this so-called black man, right? Because I can't be on this play. If it's telling us right to our face, what? But Henry the Navigator's zeal to find him may seem surprising in the light of the dismal history of the race relations that was to ensue as a result, for by this time most educated Europeans consider Prester John to be black. Most educated Europeans consider Prester John to be black. And then in chapter 10, it talks about that Prester John is the last noble image, you know what I'm saying, that was taken out. And man, I gotta get it. Let's get it. Chapter 10. Let's go. We just coming home, man. When we talk, lost tribes and promised lands, man, it ain't nothing to us. We just coming on home. This is where it all began. This got me, this is probably one of the main docs that got me real excited for this particular research. And then it became more than research. It became a mission. You know what I'm saying? To seek David became a mission. And now, it's a lifestyle, man. It's a lifestyle. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, man. Wow. We just belly fly right into it. He, too, was a living symbol of the demystification of the East, ending like the legend of Prester John in the Abyssinian dust. We're talking Ethiopia. We're talking America. Remember Samuel Sewall said, these Ethiopians, as black as they are, talking about the Americans in America. And with that legend, so-called legend, went for the time being all hope of a noble image of the Negro. So this is your last noble image. I'm not talking Martin Luther King. I'm not talking Malcolm X. I'm not talking about the great men, you know what I'm saying, of our tribe that have risen up, in different spots and locations. I'm saying last noble image. When's the last time you seen a priest king, a Khan, walking in his garments with his crown, with his land? I'm not talking about, no Christian movement, no Muslim movement. I'm talking about your Hebrew priest king. This is your last noble image. Look at it. Image. This ain't no graven image. This is a reminder of your life. This is a reminder of your fountain of youth, of your dracons. This is a reminder of your land right here in America. This is nobility. Man, all we talking about is the search for David. And this is your last noble image. Do what? What the legend went for the time being. Because, hey, one day the children will rise, will return and seek their creator and David. So just for the time being, because David will be risen up, raised up in Jeremiah, I will raise you up. So we know David will rise again. Go get all that David drop. Go get that 3-part series we just dropped. David HaMashiach. For the time being, all hope of a noble image of the Negro. So you Negroes here in America used to have a noble image. Look at it. What's the difference between this noble image and this noble image? Come on, man. Come on. Let's see how it ties into Rusha, the Rus, right? See how it ties into their Izus, right? Because you're talking about the noble image. The noble image. Let's go. They had to base it all on nobility. They had to base it all on Prester John. And that's why they never stopped searching for him for 500 years. They had to get the drop. They got some of it, but they didn't get all of it. So let's keep it pushing. Now that we know, we're just talking Mexico. We're just talking America. We're just talking Atlantica. I said, man, we're just talking Atlantica, man. So we're talking about Prester John of the 3 Indias. You know we're just talking Atlantica. Hold on, let's get this right quick. Let's go back to where we were back in chapter 3. Belly flop. Tribe up. Because remember, we're just talking 3 Indians, man. Don't mind us. Let's get this small print that we love so much around here. Now, this term India, right? Because we're just talking Atlantica at the end of the day. Which in some respect, we're just talking Atlantis. And in another respect, we're talking about the whole board. Everything. We're talking about a Mexim. On the Moorish maps, they'll just call it a Mexim. And a Mexim's everything. You got northwestern Mexim, southwestern Mexim. Wait, man, where's my where's my Africa drop? There we go. So you got all these links, man. Pull them out, man. We just talking Northwest Africa, which they also call a Mexim. Southwest Africa, which they also call a Mexim. All right. You remember this one, the Moroccan Empire, the Moor. Everything is Atlantis or Atlantica. We're talking a Mexim, right? So this would be where Atlantis would be, or Atlantica, right? Atlantis. You're talking Greenland. You're talking all that, man. You know, Greenland got a lot of drop to it. Remember, one of the documents said that they were either traveling via Greenland, that, you know, literally connected. I got that on the map. All right, perfect. So this would be Greenland. See how Greenland on these maps, you just say, take Florida all the way up to Greenland. Bang, you over there in Russia. Or you can do the Atlantis route, right? The Atlantis route, straight over the Atlantic Ocean. Or you can do the Bering Strait or the Strait of Anian route. Either way, you're talking 3 Indias, and what's it say? This confused geography has ancient and honorable roots. The first verse of the Book of Esther describes the realm of the Persian king Ahasuerus, whose palace also was at Susa. This Susa connects a lot with Prester John investigation, as extending from India even into Ethiopia. In Greek and Roman authors, there is a similar vagueness, right? So when you talk India or Ethiopia, you're talking Greek word, Ethiopia, similar vagueness about a vast region taken in by terms like India, quote unquote, and Ethiopia, quote unquote. Both similar vagueness about a vast region. We're talking Atlantica. India and Ethiopia, same thing, right? A vast region, vagueness. And about its relationship with better known Persia, in the apocryphal Acts of St. Thomas, the apostle moves easily between Persia and India. Starting roughly with the 5th century apocryphal writer Pseudo-Abdias, who described the exploits of the apostle Thomas, Bartholomew, and Matthew in each of the 3 Indias. This latter concept became a standard one in the Middle Ages. One of the 3 Indias faced Ethiopia, quote unquote. So you're talking the Africa side. According to Pseudo-Abdias, the second faced Persia, was at the so-called Middle East. And the third occupied the ends of the earth. They just found you, my naga, in what they called the ends of the earth, or the third India, between the ocean and the realm of darkness. The third became especially fruitful for the geographical imagination. Love to tie battle, who's reading the 4th part. Major drop, a lot of Prester drop in there. The region of untold islands. Now we got the Caribbeans and all these untold islands around California, and Central America and all that, right? So, in which the plural term Indias. That's why you got the West Indies, because they're still the Indias. Etymologically, one and the same as Indies. So when you talk West Indies, you can also say Indias. They're the same thing. Came to rest for once and all. There also were less mysterious, more valid definitions of the 3 Indias among medieval geographers, but for most Europeans, even learned one, here we go again, even the smart Europeans knew that Prester John was black, right? So-called black. Even the learned Europeans knew the term covered a vast and distant region of dark-skinned peoples. Atlantica is a vast and distant region of dark-skinned people, culminating in the countless array of islands in one direction, America, and in Ethiopia, the biblical Kush in the other. Okay. We're just talking about the great king of Israel, Prester John, who ruled the 3 Indias or what they also called Atlantica. And it's interesting when you dig on Atlantica. Let's see, I had a wiki link. There we go. Let's get it right here. You go to Wikipedia, you just go to Atlantica. It says from the Greek. All right, okay. Is an ancient continent that formed during the Proterozoic. They call it 2,000 million years ago. These niggas is crazy. They crazy, man. Because this is like pretty much when everything is together, and then you look at these maps, right? We just so this is Atlantica, but to them it would be 2,000 million years ago. Atlantica. Let's go. No, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. Because then you got to go into the gamers, man. Because the gamers is all over this thing. And I think they're giving more drop than Wikipedia is, to tell you the truth. Now it says located in what is now West Africa and Eastern South America. But you're in Northwest Africa, Southwest Africa. Keep that in mind. We're just surfing the wave. West Africa and South America. The name, introduced by Rogers in 1996, was chosen because the continent opened up to form the South Atlantic Ocean, or they call it the Mar del Norte. The Mar del Norte. 1601 map. The Mar del Norte. And then we connected that with the Mar Anan, or the Amazon, or the Anan Strait, all dealing with this Anion Regio, or kingdom, in this Quivera kingdom that we've been digging on. Get part 40, 42, and 43. This is 44. We're just talking the Mar del Norte. So it said it opened up to form this, right? So you're talking about a time before it opened up to form this, according to this Atlantica drop. You're talking about a time like this, right? Okay. Then they get into the Laurasia and the Gondwana and all these other times, of which Atlantica became the nucleus of the latter. And that's all they really give us, man. All right, so going into this gamer drop, Atlantica.fandom.com, World of Atlantica. The World of Atlantica is based on Earth. The World of Atlantica is based on Earth. The whole Earth. The whole Earth. And nothing but the Earth. Hold on, man. What we got here, man? Let me get my reggae therapy on with Bob Marley, man. We're talking that 432 hertz. I mean, hey, everyone's digging on that 432. They been digging on the 432. Let's go. Okay, so the Earth. We're just talking the whole Earth, right? The Earth is our turf. The Earth is our turf. Or, don't tell the Moors, because to them, it's all their turf. It's all Ham and Cush, Ham and Cush. Shem don't exist. Israel don't exist. Jacob don't exist. But then they'll tell you that Jacob exists, but we don't see it, though. We don't see the evidence. All right, man. That's the hijack. So you're just talking about the surface world, because there are inner realms, right? It goes in. That's where you got this drag and drop. That's where you got these vortexes. Chilling in Sedona. Tribal vibe is high. Mountains on our side. Life in Arizona. We digging this aroma. Fraudulent personas. Oh, man, they taking this shit over. And that's word to my mama. Khalifa's about that drama, man. You better get that Sedona drop, man. I love to mind Jigga. Let's go, man. CJ Battle, let's go. All right, so the world consists of the surface world and Atlantis. Got it. Got it. But the surface world and Atlantis are divided into further regions or continents. All right, and it goes into this, gamer stuff, fields, aka zones, normally play areas, not dungeons. Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons. What else we got? Now, let's go from the gamer world, right? We started in their reality, this Greek term Atlantica, dealing with, pretty much everything, right? Everything being together, looking like this. We took that into the gamer world. Now we're gonna go into politics. You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna go a little crazy, man. This is the Narco News Bulletin, the age of Atlantica. As goes Mexico, so goes the U.S. and Canada. The end of sovereignty and democracy tolls for upstate New York. And this is when you got to really kind of pay attention, because even when we dig on, great information from some Moorish brothers like Prince Uriel Bey, breaking down how Mauritania is Chicago and all this drop on New York, right? So let's see how they apply their ancient world to politics, man. I mean, it's all coming together. It's all happening. Now check it. An alliance of big business owners is openly plotting the economic Mexicanization of an important region of the Northwest U.S. and Eastern Canada. Important region. This is in 2007. They called their new world Atlantica. This is happening, man. So you went from the wiki to the gamer into reality of where they're actually planning to form a new world in North America called Atlantica, according to the Narco News Bulletin, and have imposed their borders around it as if drawing a new country on a risk game board. We're just talking, I mean, I can't make this shit up, man. So you're talking gamer drop, and then you got this narco news situation where they're really trying to put borders up for something called Atlantica as if on a risk game board. Back to the gamer drop. Here the map of their new country, not one founded upon democratic decisions, but with orders barked from an unelected elite or corporate flunkies whose only laws is maximize profits for their owners. Maybe you can see your house or job or that of a family member or friends on their map. And you pretty much see how this is if you live or work there, you would soon no longer be a Mainer or Vermonter. So this new border for this Atlantica being proposed combines Maine, Vermont, New York, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, and New Hampshire. Because this is all probably just boundaries of Atlantis anyway. So they're just kind of reclaiming boundaries, and that's what they're doing. You have been constricted into a new kind of citizenship that comes without any other freedoms that you thought were your birthright. Oh, well, what happened to our birthright? What happened to our heritage? You shall be by big business decree an Atlantican. Atlantican. Uh-oh. Atlantica exists, claims Charles Kurtwill, president of the Atlantic Institute of Market Studies, or AIMS. the business-backed ideological architect of the Atlantica scheme. Whether we want it or not, Atlantica exists. I need you to dig on this, man. I need you to dig on this, man. Because this is not nobody's play. And it gets even weirder, people. Because so much is going down in the Amazon. So much is happening in the Amazon. Facts on Brazil's Atlantic forest. What's Brazil's Atlantic forest? We're talking the Amazon. Overview of Brazil's Atlantic forest. Atlantic forest. Although nearly adjacent to the Amazon rainforest, the Mata Atlantica has always been isolated from its larger and more famous neighbor. Oh, now it's a neighbor of the Amazon rainforest? Well, who drew the boundary between the Amazon rainforest and the Mata Atlantica? Who drew that boundary? They're just neighbors? Mata Atlantica. We're just talking Atlantica. You go get all this drop. Let's go. We got stuff to do. Anan Ben David. Who wrote the code? Love to the Templar, man. Love to the Templar, my bro, man. He's been connecting all these great dots, man. And Anan Ben David, you know what I mean? Look, you start digging on these similarities, like with the Moshe flow, you know, and with the David flow, you know what I mean? The Joshua flow. And you got these codes, you know, these Kobas, these codes, Anan Ben David. Persian Jew. Right? Founder of the Ananites. The Ananites. We got to dig further on the Ananites. Maybe we'll get that in Prester John 45. An anti-rabbinical order. Anti-rabbinical order from which the still existing Cariot religious movement developed. Anti-rabbinical order. So it was anti their rabbinical order. Anan seems to have been prominent in the 760s, which we connected with the Forbidden Histories of America. There's all this business with this Theodorus and this Sylvanus happening around 760, 765, 775, when he competed with his younger brother for the office of Exilarch, head of the Jews of the Babylonian exile. So when we keep talking these exilarchs, when you keep seeing this exilarch pop up over and over again, I mean, you can go to Janie, you go to David Sosling. We've been digging on Anan Ben David, but let's go back to kind of the start of our Genie.com investigation. They got a Sosling David 1767. Okay. All right. Okay. Just surfing the wave. Exilarch. Exilarch, head of the Hebrews of the Babylonian exile. So if he's an exilarch in 760s, then you can basically put the Babylonian exile around that same time. Of course, we have to surf the wave in the timelines and see which time shift or whatnot we're on. And why in the world are they still looking for Prester John? You know what I mean? In the 1645 in the 17th century. And is this where the real drop is really popping off at? That they're shifting back in time? These are all great questions. All great questions. And we don't have to have all the right answers, just the right questions. So, office of the Exilarch, head of the Jews of the Babylonian exile. The office was a hereditary one, passed on from David to David. David's a title man. Needing the confirmation of the ruling caliph, which Anan failed to attain, he therefore declared himself anti-Exilarch, an action that caused him to be jailed by the civil authorities. So during his Babylonian exile, the caliph, whether you're talking the Persian captivity or Babylonian captivity, because you're still in captivity, the ruling caliph still had to sign off, supposedly. So Anan rebelled against this caliph, anti-rabbinical. We're talking rebels, man. He declared himself anti-Exilarch, like screw your Exilarch. I'm my own. I'm rocking with the people. I don't care about the caliph. I don't care about the Babylonian order. I don't care about this exile. I want freedom. An action that caused him to be jailed by the civil authorities, so he was put in jail. Over and over again, you see your priest kings, you see them put in jail. Moses was put in a dungeon for 10 years. An action that caused him to be jailed by civil authorities. At his trial, Anan pleaded that the caliph had confirmed his brother as head of the religion, but that he, Anan, had founded a new religion, one with similarities to Islam. Man, come on, man. As a result, he was released and given government protection. In 770, Anan wrote the definitive code of his order, the Sefer HaMitzvot, or the Book of Precepts. Its unifying principles is its rejection of much of the Talmud. Listen up, and of the rabbinate. All right, so when he says I'm anti-rabbinical, he's not saying I'm anti-Torah or anti the law of Moses. I'm anti these rabbi Talmudists, synagogue of Satan. I'm anti the hijack. Only the Bible or the Torah is held to be valid, according to the Sefer HaMitzvah, according to the definitive code of his order written by Anan ben David. It has shades of a Moshe in there, right? You got the code, and they're only keeping Torah, and they're getting out the hijack, the Talmud, and this rabbinate. But it is interpreted with an unusual mixture of what? Freedom. Literalism. Literally. Freedom. After Anan's death, his followers settled in Jerusalem. We're talking David, right? We're talking Cusco, right? We're talking Jerusalem, right? Eventually, his movement developed into an order known as Karaism. We're just talking the Karaites, right? The Karaites. We'll get it, man. We'll get it. We'll get back. Don't even trip. This is Prester John 44, which also was ascetically oriented with and rejected Talmudic authority. Rejected Talmudic authority. Hijacked free when the state of Israel was founded in 1948. Several thousand Karaites settled there. Well, these are these hijacks, following this isms, but we're out of these isms into reality. The Karaites, the Kara Katai, you're talking about the Katayans, you're talking about Katayo, 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 all the Karakatai, Carolinas, Kara, Katayo, Cathay, Cathnis. We're just talking about the four corners, man. We're just talking about Prester John. The land of Prester John. You know it's fuzzy right here. It also says Cathay, Kata. In the same spot. Kata. Let's go. We're talking about the Sefer Ha. Like Ha, Mashiach, Hai. Like Hawa. Mitzvot. Work by Anan ben David. Are they going to give me the drop? Are you going to give me the drop? It's going to push me right back. It's going to push me right back. All right. I got y'all. Trying to hide the drop from my brother. What else we got? I'm just doing a quick search on this Sefer Ha. Mitzvot. This is out of medieval philosophy from 500 CE to 1500 CE by Britannica Education Publishing. Man, what's going on? That sure enough look like a brother right there, though, man. Let's go. Now it says here the writings of Maimonides were numerous and varied. His earliest work, composed in Arabic at the age of 16, was this treatise of logical terminology. It's saying this was a medieval manuscript on vellum of the Mishneh Torah, a systematic code of Jewish law written by Maimonides. He completed the commentary on the Mishnah at the age of 33. 33. After which he began his magnum opus, the Code of Jewish Law, on which he also labored for 10 years. Well, Moses was in a dungeon for 10 years. Bearing the name Mishneh Torah, the Torah reviewed and written in a lucid Hebrew style, the code offers a brilliant systematization of all Hebrew law and doctrine. He wrote 2 other works in Hebrew law of lesser scope, according to who? The Sefer HaMitzvot, Book of Precepts, a digest of law for the less sophisticated reader written in Arabic, and the Hilkot Yah or Ha Yerushalima, Laws of Jerusalem, a digest of the laws in Palestinian Talmud written in Hebrew. Time out, man. I'm just digging on this. So we're digging on Anan ben David writing the Sefer HaMitzvot, Book of Precepts. Now they're talking about this Maimonides. Is this the same person? I mean, did they both write this Sefer? This Maimonides, man. Okay. Yeah, man. Hey, man, we're going there, man. Body bag for the illusion. Come on, man. I can't make this up, man. You see it. You see it. And we comparing this Anan ben David writing the code with Moshe and the laws and just throwing it out there. We're just throwing it out there. Is a comparison with these Davids. When we say Moses is also a David, you know, it's also this function. This David is a title. Now, why in the world? How in the world? I mean, look, all praise the Creator. All praise to what? Can we dig on Anan ben David, dig on this Sefer HaMitzvot, and then find that it was written by Maimonides, who was also called Moses? Has anybody ever heard of this Moses? Maimonides. Now look at the dates. Look at the dates. Didn't we say Genghis Khan rode up on Prester John in 1203? Apparently he's supposed to have died in 1202, 1203. And you got this Moses dying in 1204. 1135. You got the letter of Prester John, 1165. How can this be rocking? At the same dang time they're looking for Prester John, right? From 1145, they're searching for Prester John. 1145, and you're telling me over here that they are you got 1135, the birth of Moses. Moses Maimonides, man. Oh, man. I'm not even look. I'm just going to leave it right here, kind of, and keep it pushing because we got a lot more to cover. But I didn't expect to roll up on this, and I think this is going to be a great place to pick up. A great, juicy recon place to pick up for Prester John 45. I'll get a piece, though, man. But I'm over here just getting a little bit juiced up, man. I got the juice, man. I feel like we got the juice. We got the flow. Moses Maimonides was the foremost intellectual figure of medieval Judaism. Because this medieval Judaism, just like the book, The Medieval History of the Israelites that we're about to get back into, is describing that this is the real history going down of the Hebrews in the medieval time. And that your history was pushed back in these time shifts. And this Moses is right in the middle of this medieval time frame, also called Anan ben David. And we wouldn't even know that until we found the same author. Come on, man. I can't make this up, man. But check it here. They're saying that this Anan wrote the definitive code, Sefer HaMitzvah, Book of Precepts, in 770, man. Oh, man. Come on, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Body bag for the illusion. I don't know, family. I mean, can we theorize that what's happening with these time shifts is that whatever they're saying is happening in 700s? I mean, how can Anan ben David write the same book, Sefer HaMitzvah, Book of Precepts, in 770, and Moses come along and write the same book when? Sefer HaMitzvah, Book of Precepts. He wrote it at the age of 33. And although I don't see an exact year, we can at least narrow it down because they're telling us right here that, okay, I mean, we could do some math. Let's do it like this. They say he wrote it at the age of 33. He was born 1135. Do the math. 68, right? Okay, got it. 1168, he wrote the code. Well, 1165, we got the Prester John letter, right? Prester John letter of 1165. 3 years later, he writes the code. The same person's writing the same book, but this ain't no 770, right? This ain't no 770 Anan ben David writing this definitive code of his order, Sefer HaMitzvah, Book of Precepts. Nah, man, this is now 1168, 12th century stuff, when this Moshe is writing the same Sefer HaMitzvah, Book of Precepts. Laws of Jerusalem also, right? Wow. Oh boy. I want to dig so much right now. I just want to cover what I said I was going to cover. All right, so just go ahead and let your mind bone go. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and let your mind bone flow. It's all good. It's all happening, man. Man, that's kind of exciting right now. Just for play. I said I'm gonna move on, but just for play, I'm just gonna type in Maimonides Anan ben David. Nah, give me that. Stop playing. Oh man, I think we on their ass, Jack. Whoa. Abraham Maimonides? Abraham, huh? There's a lot. Oh, you got a whole PDF. Got a whole PDF. Okay. You know, I'm just stacking it up for Prester John 45, man. He lived and worked in Egypt. Moses, right? His Hebrew name, Moshe. Lived and worked in Egypt. Oh, boy. Son of my mom. Okay, so we're going to pick up on this. My mind is in this connection with Anan ben David, who wrote the same book. They said in 770. This was written 1168, 400, 500 years later. They're searching for Prester John for over 500 years. We're talking our exilarchs. We're talking Raja Haraja Chola Jadaron, Emperor of Soli, or Prester John, the Pani. And we got to get on our Panians and our Cholas before we get to Prester John 50. Let's go. Here's some more drops you can dig on in your free time, man. You know what I mean? Anan ben David, founder of the Cariot sect, proclaims himself anti-exilarch. That's what we was getting, because he's anti their caliph business. Authority of the caliph, anti that. His book of laws, we getting back into the Sefer HaMitzvot, the book of the precepts, which was also written by Moses. We're just talking about Maimonides. This is too much fun, man. Wow. On the other genie search, when we're just digging on Yahuda. What's it say right here? Nafranai ben Nehemiah Hadawi. And this is when we connected that same Nehemiah to the one, what's it say right here? 1161, that was his death. Who else is called Nehemiah around that 700 range in the Forbidden Histories of America? Let's get back to page, 61? Let's go. 62. Talking Kalalus or Promised Land, right? Lost Tribes and Promised Land, right? So we're just talking Cali. The Kalalus record speaker Theodorus, all right? As a leader of many peoples who leave the Roman lands, Roma for Kalalus, 775. Theodorus is none other than the Jewish king of Septimania, 7 cities of gold, Quivera, Anan, Anan, a Roman Jewish state or a Hebrew Israelite foundation. He is the son of the first Jewish king of Septimania, also called Theodoric, Thierry, Ameri, de Narbonne, Makir, Tadros, Theodorus, Dietrich, Theoderic, Ameri, Laketif, Nehemiah. Bang. So we got a Nehemiah king figure, priest king figure in the 700s, specifically around 775, they say. Oh man, can we just put it all together here? Let's go. Then you also got this Nehemiah here, who was born in 679 and died in 760. Babylon, Persia, same thing, right? Anan ben David, same thing. Exilarchs, Babylonian captivity, same thing. It looks like it's all coming together to me. You can dig on this one as well. Anan ben David, active 8th century, right? 700s. Back to the Nehemiah, right? Jewish religious leader in Babylonia. Believed to have founded the Cariot or the Kara Katai or the Kariite or scripturalists because they rock with the script. They kept it to the code. Who wrote the code? Who wrote the code? Who's rocking with the Kara? Let's go. Who's rocking with the Kara? Who's rocking with the Kara? Who's rocking with the Kara? The Kara, the Kara, the Kara, the Kariite, the Kariite, Kariism. Now we're back to the Mongol. Remember, Mongol just means the great ones, the Kariots, the Kara. Were one of the 5 dominant Mongol or Turco-Mongol tribe confederations, the Khanate. Dig on it. During the 12th century. So now we're back to the Moses. It's too good, man. It's too good. We're back to the medieval times, right? Same Anan ben David wrote this book of precepts, Sefer HaMitzvah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're talking this 1204. Let's go. 12th century. Let's go. They had converted to the Church of the East, Nestorianism. Come on, man. We're just talking Nestor. And when we talk Nestor, we're just saying what? In etymologies. Name for old king. Renowned for wisdom, for wise counsel. The oldest and wisest of the Greeks in the Trojan War. Oh, man, you can get into their Greek flow of it, but we're just talking about a wise king, a wise counsel, wisdom. So this Nestorianism was connected to these magi's and these kings and queens of wisdom in the so-called Middle Ages. Nestorianism, right? Early 11th century and are one of the possible sources for the European Prester John. Prester John. We just back to Prester John when we go to the Kara, the Kara, the Kara, the Kara, the Kara, the Karite, the Karite. Karaism, scripturalist, the code. Who wrote the code? We're talking Moses, right? Oh yeah, now we definitely talking Moses. Karite. Then we're talking Priest King or Prester John. Let's go. You can dig more on this Anan, because we're just talking about the Karite movement and Judaism, the Kara, Katai. Where's my own home? We're talking Prester John, also known as Wong or Ong Khan, priest, king. Also known as Tagaru or Toril or Wong Khan. Ong Khan was the ruler of the Karyat or Karit tribe and an ally and then opponent of Genghis Khan. Now we dug on this. They talked about this war. Ong Kong was a Nestor. Ong Kong was a Nestor. Old king renowned for wise counsel, man. A Nestor. Yeah. Dies to hijack. And is one of the leaders associated with the legend of Prester John. We're back. Oh man, we're just talking about Prester John, man. Did a black man discover the fountain of youth? Kara, Katai, Cathay, Katai. What does it say right here? Kara is also spelled Qara. Almost sounds like the Corera or Corvera. Kara. Black, swarthy. Body bag. We're just talking about a black, swarthy tribe, just like the tribe of Cali. Because Cali means black. Kara means black. What does it say in the Lost Tribe in the Promised Land? In fact, the Prester John letter may, at least in part, have Jewish roots, Hebrew roots. In the desert that separates the mountains from the sandy sea, the writer tells us an underground rivulet turns into a large river in which an abundance of precious stones is to be found. He's talking about the three Indians. Now it's talking about the acceptance of racial complexity. And what did he just tell us? What did he just tell us, man? What did you just say? Most educated Europeans consider Prester John to be black. Most educated hijacks considered Prester John to be black. Most educated Europeans considered Prester John to be black. Black. Black, black. Bliggity black. Bliggity black. We're just talking to Cara, which means black, like Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina. Black, Swarthy, Turkic, Mongol, Kar. The Kariat tribe is called by Mongol and Turkish by many accounts. All the Kariat tribal names being explainable in Mongol language, and all of the tribal names end with Mongol plural suffix D. All right, all that. Rashid, Adi, Adin, Hamadani. We're talking Dan. What are we talking about? Says that Jami al-Tawarik. At the time, they had more power and strength than any other tribes. The call of Jesus, peace be upon him, reached them, and they entered his faith. Stop it. These belong to the Mongol ethnicity. They reside along the Anan. Whoa. They just changed it from an A to an O. Anan River, huh? We know what we're talking about. Anian, Anan. We're just talking about the Maranan, right? Yeah. Love to Mr. Mafioso. We're just talking about the Anan. They changed it from an A to an O over there. We're just talking Amazon. Love to the family in the trenches in the Amazon, man. Anan, Karalan Rivers, the land of the Mongols. That land is close to the country of the Katai. So now we know we're talking Anan. They're trying to put it over there. The call of Jesus is just them invading you. You dig? The land of the Mongols is, Mongol means great ones, right? The land of Prester John. Anan. Oh, and by the way, next to Prester John is Cathay, Katai. The land of Prester John is India Superior. Katai, Katayo. The Anan, land of the Mongols, the land that's close to the country of the Katai. Come on, man. Oh, they're gonna try to play us now, but we know where China is, man. We know exactly where China is. La China. Oh yeah. They try to bring us to China, but look, we know where China is, man. La China. China is in India Superior in North America. Remember, the map is flipped upside down, so really this is South America. But let's go. Man, love to Carameo, man. Last time we were talking about the Cadi. And, I keep saving that to the end because this is so much drop with the Cado and Cadi and Cadan. But we'll also extend that one for Prester John 45 and try to cover the Cado, Indians a little more. But we talked about Peru, and then we went into this, national preserve business, like the Acadia National Preserve that we were getting in the Dracopedia drop. Love to Carameo. He said Bolivian Saurian Dragon. Hey, I found the magazine from Scientific American, volume 49, number 1. That talks about the Bolivian Saurian Dragon from your recent video. Man, love to Carameo for surfing the wave. I couldn't believe they said that, so I looked for it. It was not easy, but I found it. Love to you, bro, for your dedication to the recon. Here's the magazine. It's on page 3. Look at what it says. And he put a screenshot up for us, man. I actually had to get it right from this magazine, man. So I'm dropping a link. You got all the links below. Let's go. For the dismount. Now, this is what the bro Caremain was talking about. Okay, I got you. Got a lot of drop. This Mysterious Creatures, A Guide to Cryptozoology by George M. Eberhardt. All right. We're digging on Loreto, Peru, dragons. And right in our face bone, it said, in 1882, an odd 40-foot saurian, we said, what's that, was killed over the Rio Beni in El Beni department. All right. Bolivia, it is said to have 2 additional dog-like heads, so it's a 3-headed dragon, a long neck, scaly armor, Bolivian saurian. That's what Caramel was talking about. This is the drop from Weird Scientific America, man. Volume 49. Caramel got the drop. Let's get it. He says on page 3. Let's go. You got the doc, you pull it up. You dig on it. You got the source. You dig on it. We just getting a nice little dismount. It's always so much I want to cover. I can never cover it all, but that's why the investigation continues. And right here, it starts talking about this Bolivian saurian, man. And I'll lead you to the water. You get the drop, man. Love the caramel. Brazilian Minister Lopez Bolivia has remitted to the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Rio photographs and drawings of the extraordinary saurian killed on the Beni after receiving 36 balls. So they had to hit this thing with 36 balls. What's that, cannon fire? 36 balls. By order of the President of Bolivia, the dried body, which has been preserved in Asuncion, was sent to La Paz. It is 12 meters long from snout to point of the tail, which later is flattened. Besides the anterior head, it has 4 meters behind 2 small but completely formed heads rising from the back. All 3 have much resemblance to the head of a dog. The legs are short and end in formidable claws. Legs, belly, and lower part of the throat appear defended by a kind of scale armor, and all the back is protected by a still thicker and double carious, starting from behind the ears and the anterior head and continue to the tail. The neck is long, and the belly large and almost dragging on the ground. Professor Gilvetti, who examined the beast, thinks it is not a monster, but a member of a rare and almost lost species, as the Indians in some parts of Bolivia use small earthen vases of identical shape and probably copied from nature. Love the caramel. We just surfing the wave, man. And we're going to dig more next time on this Quirera. We're just talking the cities of gold, the city of Etzanoa, which flourished between 1450 and 1700s, thought to be part of Quirera. That leads you directly to the Coronado expeditions and the 7 cities of Cibola, Shambhala, which, we're just talking about the 7 cities of gold, just like they tell us. And we're going to get more on this Kado languages, because this is what they were referring us to when we, start digging on this Quivera and these languages connected to this Quivera, which they say they might have found in Kansas. We're going to get into this encyclopedia, digging more on these Kado Indians. that connect all this, man. Louisiana to Texas, all this drop, man. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned with Prester John 45. Yeah, still got to get this link. We still got to dig more on this about this King Tartarox who ruled Quivira Kingdom in North America. 16th century, huh? 16th century, huh? I mean, yeah, man, I guess we're digging down on the 16th century. You know, for the most part. We're still talking about the search for Prester John, 1645. So we're going to dig more on this 16th century Tartarian, Grand Tartary, India Superior. And, you know, go back into these Khans, man. And I definitely want to get on this. Well, this right here is pretty dope because it's just pretty much laying it out there that Mongols just means the great ones. Just like the Anatoly Flamenco recon, just like the medieval history of the Israelites recon. And I'll just get page 313, and there's so much more I want to get in this book that we have to pick up next time as well. Let's see where we're at, man. Let's see where we're at. All right. Yeah, we're going to make our dismount. Don't even trip. This is an excellent document. On Amazon, man. So please get the drop. If you want this doc, hit me up, man. I got it on my Dropbox, man. I'll hit you up with a link. Don't even trip. Because we just need it for scholarship, you know, recon purposes, fair use for all this drop. Fair use. We just doing some teaching, some criticizing, you know, in a classroom setting. You know what I mean? This is Drop Nation. We just surfing away. We just get this, man. We'll get the rest and Prester John 45. Let us return, however, to the holy blood and the holy grail, which is Prester John, which is David. The symbol of the grail is the symbol of authority and of traditions, which are inheritance. It is part and parcel of the legendary Prester John. What? The Holy Grail, the symbol of the Grail, is part and parcel with Prester John, the Black King in America, ruling the 3 Ethiopias or the 3 Indias, the legend of whom was spread widely in the Middle Ages. Told you it's the hottest thing smoking. Why? Because this is your one shepherd forever. Where it says in Jeremiah that David will rise again, that David will be risen again. John was master of a huge empire, who was omnipotent and all-powerful king, and Caesars were for him his only subjects. Only kings and czars were his subjects. Tractatus Pulcherimus calls John the King of Kings, Rex Regnum. He combines himself. Now I want you to think about their Jesus when I read this. Think about their Jesus when I read this. And tell me how there's room for both. He combines in himself spiritual and secular authority, and can say about himself, Prester John, by God's grace, Lord of all lords, who only are beneath heaven, from the rising of the sun to paradise on earth. Stop. Prester John, this function, this holy grail, who's only beneath heaven. Now you got Jesus saying, all authority's been given to me under heaven. But under heaven, the authority is with the Prester, with the Davids forever, which is why Jesus had to be called Son of David, to give him authority beneath heaven, from the rising of the sun to paradise. They say the sun rises in the east. That means that paradise is in the west. Except, of course, they got everything flipped. And even here, they got it for real, that you're in the east and that this is the west. Their so-called old world is in the west. You're in the east. Oh boy. So where's paradise and where's the sun really rise? In all the medieval sources, Prester John controls, listen up, Prester John controls in all the medieval sources, which we're getting is the real spill drop. Prester John controls and holds back the tribes of Gogs and Magogs, the hijacks. He's keeping the hijack at bay and controls the seen and unseen worlds. Wow. He controls the seen and unseen worlds. When you talk about Solomon and all the energy he had, David controls the seen and unseen worlds, keeps the hijack, Gog and Magog at bay. It's part and parcel with the symbol of the Grail. He's the symbol of the Grail. This is the Grail. This function is the Grail. This King of all kings is the Grail, is the function. Prester John, ruling the three Indias from the rising of the sun to paradise on earth, controlling the seen and unseen worlds. He impedes the penetration into his kingdom of lions and giants. David stopping Goliath, stopping the giants. Joshua stopping the giants. Now they try to make this symbolic, right, and say imperial military units correspond to the lions, which has portrayals of a lion on their ensign, standards the degraded caste of warriors who had renounced high principles and fell into the grip of arrogance, violence, and militancy, corresponding to the giants or the titans. The giants, according to the epic literature of those times, were worshippers of the wolf, the dog, Cynocephalus. Who sang Christopher the Dog-Headed Man? Cristobal. So where's there room for their Cristobal, Christ bearer? When Prester John controls all the seen and unseen worlds and holds back all the hijacks, rules, King of Kings, under heaven. And we know he has the fountain of youth, and we know, according to Ezekiel 37 and 34, you got one shepherd forever, and that's David. David is this Wang John King, King of Kings. We're just talking Prester John. Some sources maintain that King Xerxes, Alexander the Great, the Roman emperors, Ogier the Dane, King of Denmark, and many others visited the kingdom of Prester John. And there they were accorded legitimatization of their status as rulers. So in order to be legit as a ruler, you had to visit the kingdom of Prester John. They flipped that on the Pope, like the Papal bull that we read. Now to get legitimacy as a ruler, you got to go to the Pope. But before the Pope, there's Prester, priest, presbyter John. Prester is priest, John is king, priest king. You had to go to the priest king. The Pope is illegitimately filling in this role today as this black priest king, which is why you got the Black Madonna in the Vatican. Vatican. Right on time for the dismount. John's kingdom is named the Empire of the Great Khan. Grand Khan, Grand Canyon, Grand Khan, Arizona, Sedona. In mysterious and miraculous stories, miracles, that is the Khan father. So you got the Godfather today. Original, it was the Khan father, the priest king, the priest father, what they call the Pope, father, Khan father. In Slavic, Vatican, or Vatican. Now you dig on the Mongols, back to the Mongols, and Batu Khan, who is the grandson of Genghis Khan, who went to war against Prester in 1203. Then they established the Batu Khan or Vatican. Ba'at is like what? House of the Khan, house of council. Who's Batu Khan? So now you got the Genghis Khan takeover and this council of Khans and really fake Khans at this time because they illegitimately took the Khan. And Genghis started calling himself Khan and David after taking out Prester John. But was Prester John really ever taken out? We're just talking about the Vatican, right? The Batu Khan, right? The Khan father, the great Khan. Prester John. Or you could just call him, or you can just call him the Grail for short. Just call him the Grail, the symbol of the Grail, part and parcel with legendary Prester John. We're just surfing the wave. Man, we just surfing the wave. Surfing the wave like we never surfed it before. Hey, hop to the home team. Can you dig it? And I really wanted to get this drop here, man, for the dismount as well. We might have to pick this up as well in Prester John 45, but I'm going to get a couple minutes for the dismount and just ride the wave on out, man, in Prester John 44. Hey, hop to the home team. I appreciate your patience and, falling back and seeing what's going on over here. And keep checking in, man. Keep digging on the site. Keep supporting. Learn to be a sponsor of our flow. Hit us up if you want to sponsor our radio flow that we're digging on. All these investigations with so many more tribe, man, so many more members. Hit up the PayPal, man, and, keep our lights on so that we can keep doing this. Lost City of Corvera, Etzania documentary, Remnants of Atlantica. Oh, this is just too good to be true, ain't it? Let's get a piece of this, man. Hey, man, we've been surfing in this great reggae hour, man. It's 432 Hertz, Marley time. And let's get about 3 good minutes of this Archaeological Legacy Institute. Corvera, Etzania, Remnants of Atlantica. Ahchwa.
5 centuries ago, the two halves of our world changed forever. Waves of European explorers were astonished to discover a new world across the ocean, and they set upon its shores in ships by the hundreds.
My bad, y'all.
At the same time, millions of indigenous people faced the inconceivable arrival of strange men, fanning out over their land with swords and flags. This is the tale of one of the earliest European encounters in North America, which is reshaping our knowledge of this continent's First Nations. To unearth this story, Dr. Rick Pettigrew and his team set off on a journey into the heartland of America. Humans have lived on the Great Plains for more than 13,000 years. The region stretches from today's Canada and Montana south all the way to New Mexico and Texas. Sometime around the year 1500, a farming people we now call the Wichita made their home here on the plains.
Everybody has an idea of, okay, Plains Indians, guys on horseback with big feathered bonnets, straight out of Hollywood.
Indians on the warpath. Red man versus white. Burning, scalping, atrocities, massacres. Holy thunder! Look at our engines!
While most people today have graduated beyond this crude Hollywood imagery, a certain cinematic mental image of Native Americans still persists, helping to perpetuate their disadvantage, even in modern times.
The image of Native Americans is they live in nature. They're part of the natural world. We have culture. Even up to present day, there are natural history museums that have lions and tigers and bears and Indians. We have history museums for human history, and Native Americans are over in the Natural History Museum. And we don't think they should be offended by that.
Don Blakesley, an archaeologist at Wichita State University, has come to the town of Lyons, Kansas, to join Steve DeVore with the National Park Service. Together, they will facilitate a workshop that will bring together archaeologists, students, and some of the field's most cutting-edge technology.
Archaeology is, in its most simplest, basic form, the study of the past. And by that I mean it's looking at how people interacted with the environment.
One impressive Wichita landmark is hidden away on a hilltop outside of Lyons. Today, the workshop group heads out to investigate, but getting the equipment to the site is no simple task.
Probably.
Are there rocks?
There's a drop off on that right side. Where's that?
All right, go ahead and grab it.
Not too fast. As long as we take it slow, it's fine.
Hey, by the way, come drop it.
And the cattle pond, and the river floats, and you have to walk through the water.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Finally, the team makes it across. Cresting the hill, they come upon, well, perhaps it is a sight best seen from the air.
Wow.
Throughout the 20th century, farmers in this area knew there was a peculiar winding gully set into the tall grass here. It wasn't until 1982 that an archaeologist, Dr. Clark Malum, examined its contours more closely and realized that the altered terrain bore the familiar shape of a serpent eating an oval object, an image
Chaka.
known to many from the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio.
Bang. Hey, man, we got dragons everywhere. We gonna pick it up. Don't even trip, man. This is that Edson Noah documentary, man. This is Prester John 44, and I appreciate y'all, man. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we definitely, get it in on these, Prester John hours, man, and just great recon classrooms. And, every time you come over here and just show your patience and know that we're digging on you. We're digging on the fountain of youth, which means we're digging on the water. And we keep saying, man, who is Prester John? So that you can come on home and know that we're only talking about you, your land, your heritage, your remembrance. Because you are waking up, you are returning, you are seeing clearly. And you know that you're just talking about the symbol, you're talking about the grail, you're talking about the King of Kings, the Rex, the Regnum. Where else do we see that Regnum at? Oh, man, of course, man. We see it right here in our face bone in 1601. Ania. Oh, man. We just talking Ania, man. We talking to Reggio. We're talking to Ragnar, man. Peace and power to the tribe. Peace and power to the real ones. Peace and power to the home team for surfing the wave. We're digging on the kingdom. We're digging on your kingdom, your foundation. One shepherd forever. All praise our creator. And Ahchwa to our Shabbat. Surf the wave on. And Prester John 45 coming in hot. Ahchwa.